Top on the brief this morning, we begin with the rallying by Vice President Kashim Shettima for a global partnership to tackle the problem of internal displacement in Nigeria. Well, he made the call during the launch of a state action plans on durable solutions to internal displacement to be implemented in 4 northern states of Adamawa, Benue, Borno, and Yobe, held at the presidential villa in the nation's capital, Abuja. By the way, a report released in February 2023 by International Organization for Migration had put the number of internally displaced persons in Nigeria at over 2.8 million. So it's quite a big deal, and that's why attention should be paid to that one. Well, let's head over to the courts now, where a high court in Kano State, northwest Nigeria, has ordered the 15th Emir of Kano, Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, to stop parading himself as the Emir of Kano, and also directed the police to evict him from the mini palace at the State Road. The court, presided over by Justice Amina Adamu Aliyu, gave the order yesterday, and this legal tussle followed a federal high court ruling last Thursday, which restrained the reinstatement of Muhammad Sanusi II as Emir of Kano and suspended the law establishing the dissolved 5 emirates in the state. The court order also affects other traditional rulers in the dissolved emirates, restraining Nasir Ado Bayero, Ibrahim Abubakar II, Kabiru Muhammad Inuwa, and Aliyu Ibrahim Gaya from parading themselves as emirs of Bichi, Gaya, Rano, and Karaye. Meanwhile, the Deputy Governor of Kano State, Aminu Gwarzo, has retracted his earlier comment, accusing the National Security Advisor of facilitating the return of the deposed Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, to the state over the weekend. The Office of the National Security Advisor had denied the claims, maintaining that the Office of the NSA did not provide the aircraft that returned the deposed monarch to the state, as alleged by the Deputy Governor. Mr. Gwarzo said his allegation was based on inaccurate information.
Knowing his pedigree, knowing his antecedents, knowing his integrity and devotion to duty, I believe if he has any hand in it, he will be very straightforward and say yes. Now that he has refuted it, and as I've said, we have further information that confirms that position. There is nothing we can say but to apologize to his person and the office on behalf of the governor, the government of Kano State, for any embarrassment or inconvenience that might have caused him.
From Kano State now to the nation's capital. Following the commencement of a public hearing on the National Anthem Bill 2024, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, has indicated that any reversal should come by legislative fiat, but should be subjected to a wider consultation. At the hearing, the AGF, who indicates that the reversal is not out of place, it also adds that it will require a referendum and the input of state houses of assembly, which is a wider process and will be a true reflection of the generality of the wishes of all Nigerians. At the lower house, a few days after the federal government sued the 36th state government at the Supreme Court seeking full autonomy for local governments, the discussion continues at the Federal House of Representatives, with the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice again calling for the scrapping of state electoral commissions. The occasion was a national dialogue organized by the House, where President Bola Tinubu says his administration is committed to strengthening the local government system. According to the president, the degradation of that level of governance has contributed significantly to the inability of the country to address security and developmental threats. Well, staying with the courts, but tribunal outcomes, the Kogi State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in the nation's capital has affirmed Usman Ododo as a duly elected governor of a state. Well, the three-member panel, led by Justice Adoberin Nkudu, dismissed the petition that was brought before it by the candidate of a Social Democratic Party, SDP, Murtala Jaka. In the same vein, different geographical location related story, the Bayelsa State Governorship Election Tribunal also affirmed the re-election of Governor Doyediri as governor. The three-member panel, led by Justice Adekunle Adeleye, dismissed the petition by the All Progressives Congress APC and its candidate Tim Persilva, lacking in merit. Party politics now. The tussle for the leadership of the Labour Party took a different turn as groups clashed at the National Secretariat of the party. Well, trouble started. Members of the Edo State chapter of the party gathered at the HQ to demand that the National Working Committee of the party ratify the decision of a state chapter suspending Mr. Julius Abure as the national chairman. However, another group in support of Mr. Abure countered the protesters. And security-related matters now. Justice Inyangeko of the Federal High Court has fixed May the 29th for the trial of detained leader of Miyetti Allah Kota Ore, Mr. Bello Bodejo. The court fixed the date after dismissing the application for bail of the accused person. At the last adjourned date, the case was fixed for ruling and commencement of trial of Bodejo, but his absence in court stalled the trial from going ahead. Shortly after the court fixed the date for trial, his counsel Ahmed Raji said his client is ready. He says since the court has ordered expeditious hearing of the matter, there will be no need to appeal the ruling on his bail for now. And top business, the value of a Naira against the dollar saw a significant appreciation of 10.71% on Monday, closing the day at 1,339 Naira to the dollar on the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market window. Well, this appreciation marks the highest closing rate since April the 26th, when the exchange rate was 1,339 based on data from FFDQ. Well, this is also the biggest currency appreciation rate in 2 months since May the 20th, when it recorded a rate of 12.84%. On Friday, May the 24th, the exchange rate was 1,482 Naira to the dollar, with a minor increase of 0.19%. In the foreign scene, an Israeli airstrike is reported to have triggered a fire that killed 45 people in a tent camp in the Gazan city of Rafah, prompting an outcry from global leaders who urged the implementation of a world court order to halt Israel's assault. Palestinian families rushed to hospitals to prepare their dead for burial after a strike late on Sunday night set tents and rickety metal shelters ablaze. Israel's military, which is trying to eliminate Hamas in Gaza, said it was investigated reports that a strike it carried out against commanders of the Islamist militant group in Rafah had caused a fire. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the strike had not been intended to cause civilian casualties. And to sports news, Nigeria's representatives at the ongoing 2024 Basketball Africa League Ball, Rivers Hoopers BC, achieved the historic feat of reaching their first semi-final ever at the tournament after earning a tough 92-88 victory over former champions US Monastir of Tunisia in the quarterfinal. The result means Rivers Hoopers are the first Nigerian side to reach the last four at Africa's biggest club basketball championship. Rivers Hoopers went into the quarterfinal encounter on the back of consecutive defeats against US Monastir in the final game of the Sahara Conference and the AS Douanes of Senegal during the classification round at the playoffs in Kigali, Rwanda. But they put all that behind them now. Up next for the Kingsmen is a date with Libya's Al Ahly for a place in the championship game. The game will take place on Wednesday at the BK Arena in Kigali, Rwanda. Well, those are the top stories on the brief at this hour. Well, it's time to now take a look at what you've been saying about the stories and more. And of course, Jeffrey joins me to walk through your...